Okay. So let's go ahead and start class today standing at the center of our mats. You can close your eyes and take a couple deep breaths in and out. Just notice how it feels to pay attention to the breath. We can link into that ujjayi breathing, the slight constriction at the back of the throat, making the sound of so on inhales, hum on exhales. As we stand still here, just feel the weight in all four corners of each foot. Notice how it feels to hold the body still in space. On an inhale, we'll sweep arms out to the sides and up, palms touching overhead. Exhale those hands to heart center. Give yourself a couple of moments here to set any intention for class today. Maybe to be present, maybe to practice with joy, maybe with a smile on your face, maybe to find your edge. So just notice what you tend toward normally, and maybe you set an intention that's a little bit outside of the zone of comfort. I tend to be incredibly focused during my practice. Discipline comes easier to me than contentment. So for my personal self, I might say, I'm going to try to be lighter in my class and just smile, or vice versa. So just tune into yourself, set an intention that connects to you personally. We can hold that gently in the back of our minds as we soften the knees, begin to rock heel to toe. Feel the weight shift as you rock. Draw your attention back to your breath. Try to keep an even, steady breath as you rock here. And then we'll come to standing still. Keep the eyes closed for a moment. We're going to shift over into the right foot. Come up onto the toes of the left. And maybe you stay right here, just noticing how this is already a challenge to balance. Maybe you lift that left knee up higher, trying to find some hang time with that left foot in the air. Lower the left foot, shift over into the left foot. Come up onto the toes of the right foot. Again, option to stay here or to lift the right knee up. Feel the stabilization happening through the left ankle. You can lower that right foot. Let's open the eyes. Inhale those arms all the way up. Interlace the fingers, turn the palms face up. Draw the shoulders back. And take a moment to tuck the chin in as you do that. This is going to be slightly different. And then as the shoulders draw back, we're going to draw the chin back until it can lift up. So first back and then up. Create a long line throughout the body, drawing the tailbone straight down. Reach through the palms, maybe come up onto the toes. Take a breath here. Exhale here. Inhale one more time, reaching even higher. On an exhale, we're going to soften the knees, heels to the floor, fingertips sweep the floor, cleansing breath. Inhale up. Inhale up. Last one. Inhale up. Exhale those hands back through heart center. Step the big toes toward each other. We'll bring the arms back up. Turn left hand face forward, thumb and fist. Grab that wrist with the right hand. Exhale, pull to the right. And notice here the length on the left side of the body, but also the contraction on the right side. When it comes to the spine, just as with our hips and shoulders, we have all these ranges of motion we go through. Side extension and flexion happen simultaneously. Extending the left side and flexing the right side. And then we'll inhale up through center. Switch the grip. Exhale to the left. Again, noticing both the length on the right side of the body as well as the contraction on the left. Inhale up through center. On an exhale, we're going to soften those knees, fold all the way down. Fingertips on the mat, step the right foot back, lower that knee, inhale, chest, chin, lift. Exhale, step back, downward facing dog. The first down dog of practice, we're here for a few breaths, so maybe you bring movement into it, whatever that might look like. It could be nice to kind of rock forward and back, doing a sort of flossing of the shoulders here. It can be nice to bend one knee and then the other. It can be nice to bend both knees and reach the torso back. One more inhale. One exhale. At the bottom of that exhale, rock forward to plank, lower the knees, chest and chin, Ashtangasana. Inhale, snake through, cobra. Shoulders melted toward each other on the back. Exhale, slow release to the mat. Inhale, press up and back, downward facing dog. Right foot will step forward, left knee lowers. Inhale, chest, chin up. Exhale, left foot forward, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale those hands to heart center. Inhale, bring the hands back up. This time we'll turn right hand face forward, thumb and fist, grab the wrist with the left fingers, pull over to the left. We're here for just 2 breaths, one of which we use to get into it. So on your next inhale, come up through center, switch the grip. Exhale to the right. Inhale up through center. Exhale, soften those knees, fold all the way down. Fingertips on the mat, left foot steps back, lower that knee, inhale, chest, chin up. Exhale, step it back, downward facing dog. Again, we're here for a moment, whether that means finding motion or finding stillness. Allow yourself to explore the shape. Even if you're here in stillness, you can still follow the breath through the body. At the bottom of your next exhale, rock forward to plank, lower those knees, lower chest and chin, elbows hug into the ribs. Tuck the tail, plant the pelvis, pull the torso through and up. Cobra. Exhale, slow release. Inhale, up and back, down dog. Left foot steps forward, lower that right knee to inhale. And exhale, step to the front. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands through heart center. Give yourself a moment here, just a single moment to focus on your feet once again. Notice all 4 corners of each foot. Hold your body in stillness for 1 cycle of breath. Allowing yourself this place of comparison to the front of class, the start of class. And then we can open the eyes. Step the feet hips distance apart. We'll bring hands to hips, thumbs either side of sacrum. And then from here, we'll step into our first back bend. So firm up through the legs, lifting the kneecaps, Draw sit bones toward each other. Lift anal and urethral sphincters in and up. Draw the navel in. Root the tailbone straight down. And then gently move the hips forward. The slower you do this, the more intentionally you do this, the more you'll be able to keep track of all of those engagements. And then maybe you lift the chin, looking up or back. Keep anchoring that tailbone down. One more inhale. One more exhale. And then inhale, rise all the way up. Reach those arms up. Soften the knees. Exhale, hips back, hands forward. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower. Inhale, rise. This time we're going to exhale, lower, hold, come up onto the toes, sweep those arms back, airplane arms. Hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the heels, reach the arms up. Chair pose this way for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, hands down, hinge forward, fold, let it go. Let it go. You might walk the hands to the right leg, bending that knee extra. Inhale through center. Crawl the hands to the left foot, bending that knee extra. If that feels good, you might keep doing that. Otherwise, you might find any form of forward fold, whether you bind the big toes, grab opposite elbows, or let the hands come to the back side of the legs. Give yourself a moment to just be here. Shake the head, yes or no. Let it be heavy. Let the jaw unclench. Let the eyes be heavy. Follow the breath through the body. One more cycle of breath here. Soften the knees. Inhale, lengthen the spine, look forward. We're going to keep those knees bent. Heel toe the feet so if the big toes are touching or close to touching. And sweep the arms back up. So coming back through chair. Give yourself a moment here. Exhale those hands through heart center. We're going to twist to the left. So right elbow tucks outside of left knee. Keep pushing the hips to the left. They're going to want to twist to the right. Push them to the left. Look over your right shoulder any amount. And then from here, direct your gaze directly in front of your feet. Shift the weight into the left foot. See if you can hover this right foot up. And then step it back. Coming into a twisted lunge. Keep that right leg straight. Keep the twist through the torso. Inhale, torso upright, but remain twisted. Extend those arms out to the sides. Left hand can lower to the right leg as we reverse this twist, opening through the right side body. And then on your next inhale, sweep the left arm forward, turn to fully face forward. Take a moment to notice your feet. Does this feel like your normal high lunge? Sometimes when we step back in a twisted way, our feet get a little funky. So just notice for yourself, make any adjustments. We won't be here super long. But as we're here, let's try to lift the heart a little more. Keep tucking that tail. Keeping the ribs knit in. One more inhale. Exhale, fold forward, fingertips either side of this left foot. Lower that right knee, inhale, chest chin up. Exhale, straighten the left leg and the right leg any amount, look back. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. One more, inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. This one's a hold. Step forward for your Parsvottanasana, your pyramid pose. Remember to start by bending the left knee, square the hips, and then straighten the left leg any amount. And just let the torso be heavy here. Again, unclench the jaw, soften through the eyelids. The left hip has done a lot of work already. And so it maybe burns even in this passive pose because we're holding the same range of motion that we've been doing. One more inhale. One more exhale. On an inhale, soften into this left leg. Look forward, crawl the hands all the way to the right foot at the back edge of the mat. And from here, we're going to do that same pulsation. Lower the left knee, inhale, chest chin up. Exhale, straighten both legs any amount, look back. Inhale, bend, look up. Exhale, straighten, look back. This time, inhale, bend, look up. We're going to hold. Untuck the back toes, right hand to right knee. Left thumb against index finger now, arm lifts. And find your Anjaneyasana. Notice here that when we focus on going deep, we often lose the pelvic engagement. And so start by easing out of it a little bit. Draw left knee forward, right heel back. Think of drawing the pelvis to neutral, so a slight tuck of the tail. And then sink the hips down any amount from there. Should feel a little more integrity. 2 more breaths here. Exhaling every time is an opportunity to sink a little bit deeper. On an inhale, press into the right foot, hinge forward, plant the hands, step back, plank pose. Now, just as we worked on last time, we're really going to try to keep our elbows stacked above our wrists as we bend to go down toward our chaturanga. So rock forward a little bit, come up to your toes, bend those elbows in, keep the shoulders squeezing toward each other on the back. Inhale, pull through, upward facing dog, pressing into the tops of the feet, shoulders still drawn together. Exhale, come back through that low push-up and press up and back, downward facing dog. Man, it's hard when your teacher cues slowly through all of that. It makes it a little more painful, huh? Give yourself a couple of breaths here. Always remembering to exhale through the mouth to release any unwanted heat. On an inhale, we're going to lift the left leg up behind us. An opportunity to lower the right heel any amount. Exhale, come up onto the right toes, hinge forward, left knee toward nose or forehead. Inhale, right heel lowers as the left leg extends. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bring it in, but this time look forward, rock forward, step the left foot down. From here, let's step this right foot forward, or no, let's not. Let's lower the right heel so it's perpendicular to the left foot and bring the torso up to warrior 2. Trying to open the hips to the long edge of the mat, square the shoulders to the long edge of the mat, then extend the arms out. Left knee works toward pinky toe edge of the left foot. We press into the outside edge of the right foot to keep a long line through that leg. Here for 2 more breaths. On the exhale, act as though someone's pulling your left fingertips, the legs stay strong. Left elbow can come to left knee, opening up for side angle, or left hand can come inside of left foot. Create as much length as you can through the right side of the body, reaching those fingertips toward the left toes. Inhale, windmill all the way back up. Straighten this left leg. On an exhale, we're going to do what's called a reverse triangle. So right hand slides down the right leg. Inhale, this left arm up. A brief reprieve for that left hip. Exhale. We're going to move into our actual triangle. So looking at the left foot, I like to step my right foot forward and a bit out to the side, changing the angle of my toes to about 45 degrees instead of 90. And then from here, square the hips, left hip back, right hip forward. Notice that I'm flaring out through the front side of my body. I have this banana back going, so I need to draw my tailbone straight down, knit the ribs together, engaging the core. And then from here, elbows point straight back, hinge forward at the hips. You might find a place to stop that feels good. Well, not necessarily good, but it feels like the right place to stop. You might walk the hands down the left leg, using them as support. If you have a wall or something in front of you that you can lean on, feel free. Or the deepest expression of this is going to be to revolve the triangle. If you want to move toward that, bring the right hand down inside of the left foot. Really scoop that left hip back, right hip forward, and then inhale, open the left arm to the left. You can have your hand on a block. You can have your hand on your right shin or on your left shin. Make any adjustment that works for you. Keep squaring those hips. One more breath wherever you are, inhaling and exhaling. And then on an inhale, soften into the left knee. Crawl the hands halfway to the right. Halfway to the right. We've done a lot of work with this left leg. We're going to angle both sets of toes out. Bend as deeply into the right leg as you can, allowing the left leg to just kind of stretch on its own. One more breath here. We're going to inhale, press back up through center, turn both sets of toes forward. Exhale, fold. Prasarita Padottanasana, wide-legged forward fold. Let the head be heavy. You can traction the hands against the mat, pull against parts of the body. You can grab opposite elbows. If you want to work on a headstand here, we're going to work on getting into it from wide legs. So we plant the elbows beneath the shoulders, interlace the fingers, bring the crown of the head down inside of the wrists. From here, just think of rocking, and you'll feel your core engage. You rock up onto your toes, pressing more into the forearms. Now you might feel like you can keep rocking and lift those legs up. It might feel not quite doable to press up like that. And you might bring the feet in and tuck one heel in and really pull heel towards sit bone to maybe be able to pull the other foot towards sit bone as well. So whatever feels best to you. If you're in headstand, you can begin to slowly lower. All of us can crawl the hands forward, lengthen the spine, look forward. And then exhale, continue to the right foot at the front edge of the mat. From here, we're going to step back, downward facing dog. And we just have shoulder flexion here. So looking at the feet, let's step them forward one footprint. Really root down through the left arm, through the left hand, every finger and any part of the palm that's touching the mat. Drag those right fingertips back. You can tempt them outside of the right foot or grab onto the right foot or ankle. And then begin to liberate this left foot any amount. Know that it does not need to leave the mat. We're just working on stabilizing through the left shoulder here. On an exhale, lower the left foot, return the right hand to the mat, lower the knees. Let's take a couple rounds of cat-cow. Inhaling, lifting the tail, lifting the chin. Exhaling, tucking the tail, rounding through the spine, tucking the chin. 2 more cycles. We'll meet at a neutral spine. And from here, we're going to enter into puppy pose. So a little bit of stretching of the shoulder, also opening of the back. So hips stay atop knees. Crawl the hands forward any amount. Melt the chest toward the mat. Your forehead might touch the mat. It might just hover above the mat. If you feel like you have a lot of mobility here, you can even work on bringing the chin toward the mat. Notice how it feels to be here without any engagement through the pelvis. And if you want to add a little engagement, tuck the tail slightly and just notice what happens through the core, through the spine. One more breath in here. One more breath out. And then use an inhale to crawl those hands back all the way to child's pose. Hips on heels, forehead on the mat. Soften the jaw, soften the eyes. Notice the body here. See if you can tell the difference between left and right side of body. Maybe bringing your attention to the left and right shoulders. Maybe drawing it down to the left and right hips. Give yourself one more deep inhale and long exhale here. And then on an inhale, we'll bring ourselves forward, back to hands and knees. And we need to make our way back to the front edge of the mat. So as usual, anything that feels good in your body to get to the front of the mat, that might be stepping, hopping, heel kicking, anything that feels good to you. Go ahead and move through that. Once we all arrive at the front edge of the mat, we can inhale, come all the way up to standing. Bring big toes toward each other. And exhale, hips back, arms up. We're not going to back bend again here just because we're going to close with the back bend instead. So we'll just exhale, hands through heart center. Twist to the right. Left elbow outside of right knee. Shift those hips to the right. Look over the right shoulder. Direct your gaze down in front of the feet. Shift the weight into the right foot. Maybe begin to liberate the left. Step it back. Maintain the twist. On an inhale, bring the torso up, keeping the twist. Straighten the arms. Lower the back hand toward the back leg. Inhale the front arm up. Exhale here. And inhale, sweep the right arm up and forward, facing forward. Again, notice the stance. Are there any adjustments you need to make? Here for just one more breath, lifting that heart maybe a little bit more. And on your next exhale, we're going to hinge over this front leg. Framing the foot, lower the left knee, inhale, chest chin up. Exhale, straighten both legs, look back. 2 more, inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten and hold. Step that left foot forward if it feels right. Square those hips. And then let the torso, the head, be heavy. Give yourself one more breath here. Inhale, bend into the right knee. Crawl the hands all the way to the left. And again, that same Parsvottanasana Vinyasa. Lower the right knee, inhale. Exhale, straighten, look back. Bend to inhale. Exhale to straighten. This time though, we bend, inhale, we hold. Setting up for Anjaneyasana. Left hand to left knee. Right thumb against index fingernail, Jnana Mudra. Square the hips, and then bend into the left knee any amount, letting the hips lower toward the mat. Find your depth here, whatever feels best in your body at this moment. On an inhale, inflate the body, rise up, press into the left foot. Plant the hands either side of that foot, step back to plank. Second vinyasa, always an option to take child's pose instead. Otherwise, bend those elbows halfway. Inhale, pull through, upward facing dog. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press up and back. Downward facing dog. Give yourself a breath here. On an inhale, we'll lift this right leg up. Again, paying attention to how the left heel lifts and lowers in correspondence. Exhale, rock forward, knee toward nose or forehead. Inhale, extend. Exhale, in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, in. Keep rocking forward, lower that right foot. Lower the left toes 90 degrees. Inhale all the way up. Set up for warrior 2, bending halfway into the right knee, looking over the right fingertips, but keeping the hips open to the long edge of your mat, keeping the torso open toward the long edge of your mat. That might mean drawing the shoulders to square, shifting the hips a little bit to the right. Check that you can see your right big toe. Press into the outer edge of your left foot. On your next exhale, act as though someone's pulling those right fingertips. Keep your legs the same as you bring right elbow to right knee, or potentially right hand inside of right foot. Reach this left arm long over your left ear, creating space on the left side body. On an inhale, come all the way back up. Straighten both legs, reverse triangle, left hand slides down, left leg reaches right arm up. And then exhale, come out of that. We have the option now to move into our actual triangle pose. So again, I prefer to shorten my stance and decrease the angle of my left foot. You can move into triangle from that exact warrior two stance, so that's fine. Again, draw the hips to square, right hip back, left hip forward, tuck that tail to engage the core. Elbows point straight back as we begin to hinge forward. And then from here, knowing that you can move your hands wherever feels best in your body. If you're doing the twist, really think of scooping right hip back and under. Left hip draws forward, left fingertips inside of the right foot. Inhale the right arm up. Try to gaze over those fingertips. Two more breaths. Inhale to slowly bend into the right leg. Step the feet wide, walk to the left until you're facing the long edge. And this time again, we're just gonna bend as deeply as you can into the left leg, right leg straightens, allowing gravity to provide a little bit of a stretch here for us. One more breath. Inhale, press up through center. Both sets of toes point forward. So we're again finding our wide-legged forward fold. This time you have a couple of options though. Option one, wide-legged forward fold. Option two is to take another headstand. Option three is going to be an arm balance I've never cued for you guys yet, I don't think. And it's a heck of an arm balance. So I'm gonna actually turn to the side to show it. It's called firefly Titibasana. What you would do is shorten your stance until your feet are about at the edges of the mat. Toes can angle out a little bit. Bend the knees and relax the head so that you can grab the backs of the ankles and work the arms under the legs any amount. Now keep the knees squeezing in. It's the legs hugging into the arms that's going to allow for this to happen at all. Plant the hands shoulder distance apart, about in line with your heels. And then you're gonna lower the sit bones. Instead of the arms winging out, keep the elbows pointing straight back. So they're kind of on the back sides of your legs. Keep those legs hugged in. Now the first option here is going to be to try to wiggle those feet forward. And maybe you can cross them in front of you. That bind will be super helpful. As you hinge back, maybe you can hover the feet any amount. If you're like, oh yeah, I'm feeling this, then you can work towards straightening the legs, keeping them hugged in, and lifting any amount. This arm balance is the bane of my existence. So I'm not the best at teaching it since I'm not the best at doing it. But if you got any sort of compression in, even if you were able to shift weight into your hands, even if the feet didn't lift, that is incredible. So go you. That's also one that's really great to do, not on soft blocks because that can hurt your wrists, but if you stack up books or if you have cork blocks, just to get a little more clearance, because it's just hard to move everything around in that orientation. All right, so if you haven't yet been in a forward fold, just return to that shape. Give yourself 2 breaths here to rinse off whatever it is you just did. Inhale, lengthen the spine, look forward. And exhale, crawl back to the left foot at the front edge of the mat. Planting both hands, we're gonna step back, downward facing dog. Shorten your stance a little bit. We're just gonna do some shoulder flexion of that right shoulder this time. So left fingertips can slide back, tented outside of the left foot, or they might grab onto the left foot or leg. Maybe the right foot begins to hover up. Again, no attachment to outcome or expectation. Just focusing on stabilizing through the right shoulder here. The right leg is lifted. Gently return it to the mat. Return the left hand to the mat. And we're going to move into our finalizing set for today. So give yourself one breath in down dog to reset. And then we'll inhale this left leg up. Exhale, we're going to move into pigeon. So if you know you prefer to be on your back for pigeon, you can just move into that in your own style. Otherwise, we'll come up to head up pigeon. Take a moment to look at those back toes, make sure they are pointed straight back. You might adjust the front leg, drawing heel closer to the body if there's excessive pressure in the knee. If there's not, and the hips can stay square, then drawing the heel further away. You might choose to be head up here. We've had an excessively head down practice, which I normally try to balance out a bit more. So being head up might actually feel more restorative, even though there's more muscle energy in the shape. If it feels better, then you can hinge forward and come into a more restorative, traditionally restorative shape. We're going to be here for a full minute. So allow yourself to really sink into whatever position it is that you've found. Give yourself one more full breath here. And then on your next inhale, begin to gently work your way out of this shape. We're going to move to internal rotation. So if you're seated upright, roll back onto your sit bones, and you're going to actually continue rotating until you're facing the back edge of the mat. If you're on your back, just come to a seat to where your right leg is extended forward and your left leg is bent off to the side. Now, the more that the knee is bent, the more intense it's going to be on that knee. And so you might just have the inside edge of the right foot pressing against the mat and have the leg pretty straight. If that feels okay, then just keep bending any amount until you're like, okay, this is my stopping point. If it's okay to do so, you can have the top of the left foot on the mat, roll that calf out of the way, and have it hugged in really tight. Now from here, we can hinge back any amount. So bend the right knee to start, planting that foot on the mat, and then just hinge back however much feels okay in your body. If you hinge back quite a ways, you can kind of lift up the hips and tuck the tail a bit more deepening the sensation. We don't do much internal rotation in our day-to-day lives, so it can feel a little intense sometimes. So just honor that. Take 2 more breaths here. If you're lying back at all, begin to make your way back up to a normal seat. Extend the right leg out, and we're just going to rotate back to the left. So it's kind of a weird move. You have to decrease the bend in the knee, shift your weight back, and come back to the front edge of the mat. Plant the hands, curl the right toes under. We're going to lift this left leg back and up, and then bend heel towards sit bone. Now you might stay right here, focusing on really squeezing heel towards sit bone, opening through that left hip. If you want to flip your dog, turn your fingers out slightly on your right hand, rock forward as though you're going to go into a side plank, and then lower the left toes down, pivot on the right foot, and then press those hips up, reaching the left arm back. Hips keep reaching up, glutes are engaged to support. And then we'll come back through the side plank, plant the left hand, left leg reaches up, lower it down, downward facing dog. All right, now we're just going to repeat all of that on the other side. So inhale, right leg up. If you're going to come to head up pigeon, exhale, bring it into pigeon. If you're going into pigeon on your back, then again, just make your way there. Again, set up, check that everything is in alignment, that your hips are squared. You can always prop up, in this case, the right hip to create a little more evenness in the hips, if that would be helpful. And again, you have the option to be either head up or to recline the torso forward. We're here for a full minute. On an inhale, begin to lift the torso back up. And we'll again make that transition to internal rotation. So coming to the outer right hip and then swinging around to face the back edge of the mat. Internally rotating at the left hip, or sorry, at the right hip by bending that knee any amount that feels okay, potentially bringing the top of the foot to the mat at the deepest expression. Left foot can come to the mat, knee bent towards ceiling, and then we can hinge back however much feels okay. Potentially tucking the tailbone once we arrive there. And every exhale, just think of releasing any holding. On an inhale, let's work our way back up. Straighten the left leg, decrease the bend in the right. Again, rotate back to the front edge of the mat. Plant the hands, curl the left toes under, send the right leg back and up. bending at the knee. If you want to flip the dog again, angle the left fingertips out, rock forward, lower the right toes, point all toes straight to the back edge of the mat, lift from the hips, reach the right arm back. And then to come back through the side plank, plant the right hand, lift the right leg up, and exhale, lower. Now we just need to get to our backs. So if you want to hop to the front edge of the mat, awesome, do that. If you want to lower to your knees, cross your ankles and come back, that is also lovely. Whatever seems desirable to you in this moment. And from here, we're just going to grab the back sides of the legs and rock onto our backs. You know the drill from here. Any twists, any compression poses, any happy baby or shoulder stand or plow pose. Whatever feels like it would be good in your body, I want you to take these last few minutes to explore that. And when in doubt, just try a couple different things, see what emerges. And about 2 more minutes of exploration time. As you begin to finalize balancing out any motion, any posture that you did on one side, or doing it on the other. If you would like to be seated, you can make your way to a seat. If you would like to remain lying down, please do that. Know that you can always go to a wall and put your feet up a wall in a really nice restorative closing shape. And during these final moments of stillness, I invite you to simply observe. Notice the energy of your body. Notice the mind. Is it slower now? Is it still like a ticker tape moving quickly through your brain? Notice the breath. Anything that comes up in our observations is feedback, not failure. In observing, we simply learn more about ourselves, whether as a whole or even just in a specific instance. mind has begun to wander, gently invite it to return its awareness to the breath. Check back in with the mind, drawing in these final moments back to awareness of the breath. A light but focused attention. If you're lying down, you can invite the breath more fully into the body, deepening inhales, lengthening exhales, maybe introducing small movements as you do so. If you're seated upright, you also can begin to deepen the breath, maybe adding in some circling of the shoulders, some rubbing of the hands against the legs, maybe some seated cat-cow. We'll all eventually meet in a seat, but take your time and method of getting there. Once we've arrived, we can inhale those arms out to the sides and up, palms touching overhead. Exhale, thumbs pausing at forehead in gratitude of this physical body. Pausing at mouth in gratitude of this breath. And coming to rest at heart center in gratitude for that intelligence that lives within us. That thing that gives us our personal likes and dislikes, that gives us our sense of morality, that gives us our sense of purpose in this life. Might all of the strength and softness, focus and ease that we cultivate on the mat be carried with us out into the world. Namaste.